Hello and welcome to Feature Friday with your Promethean education consultant, Allison. Today for our feature, I'm going to show you how you can bring in an already existing item that you have and share it really quickly with your students on an instant whiteboard. I have this worksheet here that is missing factors for multiplication. And I want to take this and I'm going to take a snip of it so that I can add it into my instant whiteboard for my students to be able to interact with it through a creative poll. I'm going to use my snip and sketch tool, which is, I keep it on my toolbar. So when I go to find it, I would use my search magnifying glass and I would look for snipping tool. Mine is already updated to the snip and sketch tool, so I would click on that. You can see that I have that available already. When it's in my toolbar, then I would right click, and here it says unpin from taskbar. If you haven't already done that, you would right click and choose pin to taskbar. Then I'm going to click my new, and that's going to gray out my screen, and I can take a snip of that. When I take a snip of that, I am given on my snip and sketch board, I'm given choices to do. In this case, I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to choose where I want to save that. And I'm actually going to save that into my pictures file. I'm going to name that. Actually, I'm going to create a new folder that says math. And then inside that math folder, I'm going to create a folder that says missing factors quizzes. I'm going to open that. And then I'm going to do quiz. Open that folder. And then I'm going to name it quiz 1. And then that's going to, I can choose how that's going to save it. I'm just going to save it as a JPEG. And I click save. Now I have the image of what I want my students to interact with saved. I'm going to go into ClassFlow. I'm going to choose, when I land in ClassFlow, I'm going to choose resources. From resources, I'm going to choose new. I'm going to choose file upload. Then I'm going to navigate to my pictures where I have that saved in my math folder, in my math factors quiz and quiz 1, and I'm going to choose open. And that quiz 1, of course, you can see that here I can go straight from here and deliver it to my class. I'd also be able to use that if I have a rostered class. I could deliver it, upload it to my rostered class as a worksheet and ask them to practice that, and that would show up. But today I'm going to show you how you can add that into an instant whiteboard to do that quiz with your students as you are presenting your online lesson in ClassFlow. You can see by my open class, I have a student who is logged in, and so my student right now is seeing the calming scenes of nature because I haven't delivered anything yet. I'm going to start my instant whiteboard. Now this toggle down here allows me to add cards. And by clicking on this, I can just add as many instant whiteboards as I want. So I could have several little quizzes up here if I wanted to deliver a different quiz to a different set of students to my classroom. So I'm going to start with my first one. And I'm going to choose the hamburger, the 3 lines. And I'm going to choose insert. And so from here, I can insert any of my resources that I already have. I know that I named this quiz 1. I can insert that. It inserts extremely nicely. And then I'm going to go to my lazy exclamation points, and I am going to deliver that as a creative poll to my students. So on Michael's screen now, he's able to use either his text tool or his pen to answer those questions for me. And then once he has them answered, and I'm doing this with my mouse, I'm not terribly good at it, or he could choose to type and bring that text box down to where he would like it to be. And also, if I was using my interactive pen on my screen, this would be much quicker. And so you can see the student can interact with it in more than one way. So when the students finished, they would submit that to me, and then coming back to our teacher screen, I can get that instant formative assessment right away and see how each student did. Here I have it shown without the student names, but as a teacher, remember, I can save that. I can show the student name so I can see each student that completed it. You can see down here when I turn on my card carousel, I can see these poll results right here. When I go to exit, I can, oh, first I have to stop my polling progress. I can save it as a new lesson. When I come back to my resources, there is my instant whiteboard lesson. I can go in, I can edit that lesson. You'll notice the date is already here, but I could rename that. So I could rename that multiplication quiz 1, 10, 23. And then I would know that it is saved. Remember, since it's cloud-based, it automatically saves. I could come back to that later at a later date, go to my resources, come back to that math quiz and look at it, look at those poll results, and be able to actually use that to help interact with the student, either help them with their math facts, or I could even use that as a quiz assessment marking if I wanted to into the gradebook. So there's lots of great things you can do with the instant whiteboard. And I hope that featuring that instant whiteboard today was helpful for you. Remember that ClassFlow is free, cloud-based. It allows you to deliver to your open class like I just did without rostering a class, but you're also able to do a student rostered class, which is in a previous video. It's very quick and easy, and you can have those landing pages for those students that are either absent, or if you want to deliver lessons to them for an asynchronous time, you can do that through the rostered classes. So go ahead and watch that video if you haven't already. Promethean is extremely powerful. It's a great remote tool to keep students engaged, along with all the other tools that we have, ActivInspire being one of them through Promethean. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm Allison, your Promethean education consultant. And remember to harness that power of Promethean.